We all know of the European tales of discoveries, such as explorer Bartolomeu Dias, considered to be the first man to round the Cape of Good Hope, at the southern tip of Africa. But there are those who believe that brave ancient mariners were there first. 2,000 years before the Portuguese, Herodotus, the father of history, wrote about the Egyptian pharaoh Necho II, who decided to discover if Africa was indeed washed on all sides by the sea. For this amazing project, he commissioned the best navigators of his time, the Phoenicians. Their mission, to sail south from the Red Sea and return through the Pillars of Hercules. The adventure would have taken 3 years. 3,000 years later, at great risk, a group of modern explorers set sail to find out if that legend could have happened. This is their adventure, in search of those who were the first to sail around Africa.
Yeah, I had the idea for the Phoenician project in 2005 when I was researching into the first contacts with the African continent.
The project is about recreating what we consider one of mankind's greatest journeys, the first circumnavigation of Africa. The construction process began in 2006, where Philip and another colleague of his, a boat builder, travelled to the Middle East and did a recce of boat builders in the area to see who might be able to take on such a difficult project. And they came across some boat builders in Arwad, Syria, which was still using a traditional wooden shipbuilding method, and came from a family, a generation of wooden shipbuilders called the Hamoud family. And Philip appointed them as the shipwrights for this project. So the building began in 2007. And gradually, over the course of 9 months, a beautiful Phoenician ship was created using traditional Phoenician methods, such as the plank first construction, where they made the hull first without putting any ribs inside. They used mortise and tenon joints. They tried to source traditional Phoenician materials. They used Aleppo pine, olive wood. And then the construction process was really completed in August 2008, which is when the sea trials began and the launch of the expedition began as well.
Last November, Khalid and his wonderful team started the building of this great ship. But it's not just a very beautiful ship, it's also a very strong ship. We'd like, on behalf of the crew, to thank Khalid from the bottom of our hearts for the wonderful work that he's done.
The ship left Syria in August 2008. Destination, Egypt.
The first leg of the project was really quite a difficult process. Really, the whole project is about learning and discovering how the Phoenicians could have achieved this voyage, how they could have built these boats, how they could have sailed them. I like to think of it as experimental archaeology, and I think it's fair to say that the first stage has been a complete experiment. Things have gone right, things have gone wrong. One of the biggest problems we had was a real design fault in the ship's rudders, which are the steering mechanism for the Phoenician ship. And in the end, it resulted in various tows sort of to get the ship out of danger.
A few days later, they arrived in the land of the pharaohs.
The starting position of where the pharaohs commissioned the expedition. We've had a 300-mile trip to, work down the ship, get into action a bit. So, yeah, looking good.
After a short stay in an Egyptian naval base to fix the rudders, they set sail again.
This kind of trip's always got the potential to be very hard and difficult. The Phoenicians would have found it very difficult to row a vessel like this any more than just into and out of the wind near a harbour. It was any more than that. It's such a big vessel, some 50 tons of displacement. It would have taken a great deal of effort to row it a long way.
In Sudan, they decided to install an engine aboard. It was necessary, for safety, and because of port restrictions. The small diesel engine would make the part of dozens of Phoenician rowers.
We're looking at a DAF truck engine, which we're hoping to install in a Phoenician ship. Now obviously I have a small engine to help us get into and out of harbours. It'll be a lot easier rather than with oar power.
From Sudan, they crossed the Red Sea.
I've been a part of Phoenicia for 6 months now, and I think I can't really pin down one particular thing which I'd say was the highlight. I think really the time we spent sailing, it was so precious, particularly the mainsail. I think I remember that more than anything else.
We have got to Yemen. We haven't had any major accidents or anything, and I think we're now set fair to continue the expedition a little bit later in the year, and the expedition will gain a lot of momentum.
Phoenicia rested in Al Hodeida for a few months, until the monsoon changed the direction of the wind, allowing them to proceed out of the Red Sea, into the Gulf of Aden. In Aden, they moved the boat to dry docks, for much-needed repair and maintenance. The crew took the time to visit this exotic city, and its many attractions. Such as the fish market. And Crater, a village inside a volcano. But soon, it was time to set sail again. Now they left the relative safety of Aden, and sailed up the Yemeni coast, towards Oman. These are the dangerous waters of the Horn of Africa, infested with Somali pirates. For safety, they sail blind, with radar and radio off, and with no lights at all during the long nights, risking a collision with other vessels. The lookouts have to double their attention, but everyone aboard agrees that it is better to risk collision than to become prey to the bandits of the sea. Fortunately, they arrive at the port of Salalah in safety. The crew uses every chance to explore new places. In Salalah, they trek the nearby desert. Back aboard, the list of jobs seemed endless.
I'm cleaning up the new generator. Yeah, it's brand new and we just mounted it.
We're just preparing to leave from Salalah. We've got about 2,500 miles to go to Tanzania, maybe a little bit more than that, because we're having to go the long way round. We're going the scenic route
because of the pirates in the Somalia basin.
Oh, I think it's the pirates. It must be the pirates.
Yeah, I have been very concerned about them, and just in the last week the number of attacks has increased significantly because the strong southwest monsoon has obviously now died down. So yeah, it's a constant worry with regard to the pirates.
Okay, stop. Enough. Okay.
For this leg, no women were admitted, due to the chance of meeting the pirates.
We need one person here with a lookout to say, I see a ship 10 degrees on port bow. Have you seen it? Are you aware of it?
Sultan Qaboos of Oman sent 5 members of the Royal Navy of Oman for this dangerous leg to get some experience in this ancient vessel. And, in case they were captured by the pirates, His Majesty could help to negotiate their release from Somalia.
I hope you go, inshallah.
Yeah.
Yes.
They left Salalah for the longest leg so far.
Aziz, how many days this trip?
20.
20 days.
What?
20.
20. I hope. But now we go to east and wind from east. Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I have no idea actually, but around 1 month, I think. It's a long way around. We're gonna take a long, a long passage east to avoid Somalia. This is gonna be a long trip.
Phoenicia encountered a few dhows, traditional Arab ships, same model used by the pirates of Somalia.
Yeah, so far so good. Into day 2, we had a good passage overnight. No problems.
The crew must find ways to pass the time aboard when not on duty. Philip briefed the crew on the procedures, in case they were attacked by pirates.
If we see anybody sees a small boat or something suspicious, the first thing is to get everybody.
Everyone would have to play a part in the defense of Phoenicia, and of their lives. They tested the El-Rad, a non-lethal weapon, that emits a potent sound, to scare the pirates away.
You must be sure to make the generator ready to go any minute.
Yeah.
We're about to use the fire pump to clear the bilge, because the water level is quite high. It takes like 15-20 minutes to clear the bilge.
This replica ancient ship let a lot of water to come in through the hull planks. Every 4 hours, the bilge pump had to be activated.
We're just doing a little experiment to see whether the wind's picked up. So we thought we'd just give it a go to see whether we can actually get a bit more speed without compromising too much on losing our easterly direction. So we'll see. It may well work, but it's probably 50-50. Okay, ready? Yep. Aziz, ready? Oh, Aziz is having a pee. It's a very good time to do it. All right. 2-6. Pee. 2-6. 2-6. Yay! 2-6. Yay! 2-6. Yay! Okay, take a break. 2-6. Yay! 2-6. Yay! 2-6. Yay! 2-6.
Easy.
On the 12th night, off Oman, a light was sighted at dusk. A pirate, perhaps.
Can you see anything?
You think this could be it? I mean, the pirates?
I think it's a ship passing by.
Big ship?
I think it's a small ship.
Yes, this big ship. Was maybe the mast 10 meter and the small ship not see for what? Because the sea rough, small ship not see. But some people he eat Somali for Somali maybe for dangerous when you see.
This ship looks like it's passing, so not to worry.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
After a few hours, the light turned direction, apparently to follow a cargo ship passing by. A cultural difference could put the whole crew in jeopardy. Drinking water is the most important resource aboard. Phoenicia carried 3 tons of water. But they didn't calculate that the 8 Muslim crew members use fresh water to wash before the 5 daily prayers. That would consume almost 1/3 of all fresh water aboard. So they had to reach a compromise. The Muslim sailors would pray only 3 times a day and use 1 glass of water per wash. But even that was not enough to reduce water consumption aboard.
We used all the water for today, all the ration.
Sleeping.
Why?
For water. 6 o'clock we get water. Now no water.
If this leg takes more than 10 days now, we would have a serious problem.
To make things worse, the ship's engine broke. Used mainly for maneuvers in port, it could have helped them to avoid dead calms in the middle of the ocean, not an ideal situation if you are running low on supplies.
Porridge with breakfast. Huh?
Yeah, only porridge for breakfast.
Only, yes.
Yeah.
Then 2 things happened. Dermond fixed the engine, and it started to rain.
Plenty water in Ecuador, huh?
A special visitor comes for those crossing the equator line, under sail for the first time.
I, King Neptune, ruler of the 7 seas, king of the secret currents, lord of the boundless waves and master of high tides, high constable of the coral caverns and uttermost recesses, I hereby affirm that our most notable cross of the equator on the 13th day of November 2009 on board the Phoenician ship. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Where are you going now?
Constantly receiving security information through the satellite, Phoenicia was forced to go more and more to the east due to recent pirate attacks on their planned route.
This is our...
Yes, now here.
We're here?
Yeah. Now on 80.
Yeah, this is a pirate attack, right?
Yes, pirate attack there.
Pirate attack,
Yeah.
Very close to us, pirate attack.
200 miles.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We didn't change, we're going this way.
Yes.
We would go straight to the pirates.
Yes. Now.
A Greek cargo ship was taken, just 3 days sailing ahead of them. If not for this attack, they would have sailed right into a pirate mothership.
We changed to go head more south or more southeasterly. About 100 miles a day from here. 1, 2 days. 3 days we will be sort of level with the Seychelles.
And then maybe...
And then we'll get the southeast trade wind to take us all the way to East Africa.
So the plans are not set yet. We have like 3 possible destinations.
Yeah, there's Dar es Salaam, there's Comores, Mayotte.
Another information arrived. An English couple aboard their sailboat was taken hostage on the same route Phoenicia was in. So, they had to change route once more, and instead of going to Seychelles, diverted to the small island of Mayotte.
Could you come alongside on our port side?
Okay, Captain Philippe, you coming from alongside port side, is correct?
Yes, we are nearly ready. We are being resupplied by some Syrian friends of ours, Mohammed Osman. So just off the tip of northern Madagascar, we have a rendezvous at sea. We're just about to do the operation now.
Yeah, from the tanker we're making from the long side, make the rice and chicken and water and sugar.
So you don't have to eat sohan.
So we done Magnoon.
Nobody eats Salhan. We keep it Salhan for the standby.
Kita kan cepat anunya, apa namanya, hanyutnya. Mepet ke sana.
Mas, be careful! Captain! You see, right! Captain! Left!
Due to sea and wind conditions, Philip decided to cancel the operation. So Plan B was put into action.
Plan B is to cook up all the tuna and just have a big feast to celebrate that we got the tuna. Yeah. Marrakesh.
No.
You know Marrakesh? You are happy?
You are happy? No.
You are not happy?
Marab.
Huh?
Marab.
Mayat?
Yes.
Okay.
After 46 days at sea, finally they spotted land. The crew prepared to make landfall.
This has been the first big test for Phoenicia, the longest trip, and she's come through it pretty well. I think she certainly proved herself to be seaworthy, and she's done us proud.
Good.
Three islands form the archipelago of Mayotte, a French natural atoll between Madagascar and mainland Africa. In Mayotte, the Omanis had to go back to their country. And new volunteers were welcomed aboard.
Daniel.
Alice. Hello.
After so long at sea, the crew members decided to find a waterfall, to compensate for the lack of fresh water. A few days later, the ship and crew were ready to continue the adventure.
It's a great project. There's very crazy things, but a beautiful adventure, I think so.
Merci. Yeah, we're leaving Mayotte now. A brief stop, actually a week in all. Yeah, very interesting place to be. Although I don't know whether our memories of Mayotte will be totally positive, because we lost our outboard engine, and our outboard inflatable was cut to pieces in the theft.
Good, yeah? Good thing here. Bagus. Dinghy baru.
What happened?
Oh, you mean the dinghy? Our last dinghy was stolen one night. We were sleeping on the deck, but they managed to cut the line, and they stole the dinghy and the engine. So we have to buy this one in the last minute before we left. So it's not as good as the old one, but at least we have something to get ashore with. So.
My name is Daniel.
Speak like a man.
My name is Daniel Hallstrom.
We're talking about the toilet.
The toilet. The toilet, I quite like it actually. I quite like the fact that you have a view.
It's very, very good, as long as it doesn't fall off. But
Well, I have in my imagination at the moment about 18 very strong Phoenician rowing as we push ourselves quietly out of this little ideal paradise.
A strange figure appeared in the skies, pointing exactly towards their next destination, Mozambique.
making a hot tub.
Well, we're firing the output hose into this dinghy over here to rapidly fill it up to create a swimming pool slash hot tub.
Can you give me an ice cold beer, please? Corona, lime.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Una colada.
Wise man. Well, if this works, working on the right knee to fix the left knee, then I'm going to invest in Indonesian medicine. This is interesting. I think it's a form of reflexology that he's working with here. That's my only guess.
Yuri swimming, me swimming.
What's why?
No, swimming.
You want a company?
You're swimming, he's swimming.
Yeah.
Go there.
After an exciting passage, with good winds and good speed, Phoenicia arrived at the city of Beira, in Mozambique. Here other volunteers joined the expedition, including Yuri's wife, Vera, and Atsuko from Japan, and the expedition's artist Danielle from the USA.
They take on the next one, everybody, or?
Everybody, it's wild.
Yeah.
Yuri's wife.
Yuri, Monica, Yuri, yeah?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Mozambique is a very happy and colorful African country, and the people are very friendly.
Estou aqui na praia, estou a vender toda a cena, peixe, não peixe. Eu fico toda bonito com vocês, não?
And the countryside deserves a visit. They left Beira on January the 9th.
Yeah, we're on our way again. We're heading towards Richards Bay.
But the rudder for the ship's engine broke off, after 25 miles down the coast. Philip decided to return to port.
Oh, it's necessary to do repairs on the rudder, but I'm happy. It's a nice town and nice people, so why not?
Richards Beira!
It is a delicate maneuver to enter the port.
It's like this now, it's 45.
Okay, because I think that must have, with the weight of the rudder, it broke there, and then
Yeah, as it's
pushing it must have just bent it, I guess, with the pressure. Aware.
Yuri put his cameras aside, to design and install the new rudder. It was very challenging to install the new system in the water. But soon, the boat was seaworthy again, and they set sail with the tide.
Oh yeah, stars are beautiful as well. Stars is definitely one of the highlights.
Sailing down the Mozambique Channel, they had the first medical emergency aboard. Atsuko flew from one side of the boat to the other, and hit her head on one of the life rafts. Blood everywhere, but after all first aids procedures, they find out that the accident wasn't as bad as it looked.
Hey, that fish is much smarter than you three guys together. You never do that. Wilson! The movie, Castaway.
Oh, Tom Hanks.
Well, let's see what the shower probably.
So did you go home?
Yes, I will go home.
How do you feel going back home after so long?
Oh, it's mixed feelings. Of course, it's nice. It's fun to come home, but to leave this, it's had a lot of fun these last 100 days. So I'm gonna miss this.
On the 11th day, they entered South African waters.
We'll be met here by various boats from the yacht club, and then we'll turn to come in up this.
On the
this
horizon,
tunnel.
they noticed that something had changed. A fleet of boats from Zululand Yacht Club came out to greet them.
Yeah, we love it. Yeah, we've been waiting for this a long time. Yeah, we're looking forward to your arrival a long time. Land Yacht Clubs, Virgin. You fix it somewhere there on the... There's a cold front coming tomorrow, 30 knots against you tomorrow. So your timing is excellent. Nice flat seas. Your navigation skills are impressive.
The crew was happy to receive local schools aboard.
Welcome aboard.
Hello. Yeah, we have behind us, or in some cases in front of us, but never to the side. So basically, we're looking for the cart, but we do want to stay a certain distance from land.
This project, what we're doing is we built a Phoenician ship on the basis of a wreck that was found in the Mediterranean. That's where we got the design, and we got some of the designs from Egyptian vases that show the sails, and from coins, and from written literature. And we found in the Red Sea, archaeologists have found pieces of the sails. So we put this all together to make the ship, and now we're recreating the voyage. We built the ship in Syria, which was one of the Phoenicians' great ports in Arwad.
To get a taste of Africa, the crew visited a national park nearby.
I'm making you a pot bread. It's called a pot bread because you're making it in a pot. You do it on fire.
Yeah.
It's quite a traditional thing.
This is called a braai. Braai. It's the same as a barbecue, but it's South African.
Yeah, if you call it a barbecue here, you'll get chucked out of the club. It's a braai. It's a braai. What are you doing there?
I make caipirinha for everybody to try with real Brazilian cachaça.
Make me a bartender here.
Oh yeah?
This is very strong. Very strong.
Very.
That's strong? Your hair. That's a strong one. You don't have meat in Japan?
South African style.
Kobe beef?
Better than Kobe beef.
Better than Kobe beef. No, you just don't get that very often.
As usual, the ship needed some repairs. Phoenicia was towed onto a ramp for a few days. Here, Atsuko and Nicholas went back home.
Nice, warm and cold Stockholm.
We've asked him to convey this message.
It would be very poor form on our part to let you go without an official function. So if you should once again deny us the opportunity to give you hospitality, you could be in very serious trouble. Besides that, we have found there's a gale warning for tomorrow afternoon. The laws don't allow launching of vessels for the open sea on a Monday afternoon. That's one of the municipal bylaws. The bottom line is you won't be leaving tomorrow.
Pineapples as well.
Oh yes, and the pineapples will only arrive in the evening. Yes. I don't want to tell you what happened to the last skipper who offended our hospitality, but you see that little cross on the corner there. It may just be a bit of a clue. So, and then the other thing is, you know, with the new democracy in South Africa since '94, so everything is done on a vote. It's now democracy. So all those who say they're staying, please raise your hands. Yeah.
Those again.
Thank you. Those again?
Drink water. Traffic information, there will be sailing vessel from base 706. She is proceeding to Taiwan.
Okay, affirmative. I'm gonna call you back when you clear the breakwater. Thank you.
As usual, new volunteers joined the project.
So I really appreciate you guys all letting me aboard. And
Phoenicia is an amazing experience. I heard about it, I read about it, now I've tried it, and it could be habit forming.
So it's interesting to be part of it, both because I'm Syrian, but also because I'm a trader myself. So I'm kind of, in a way, an ancestor, both ethnically, of the people that built this kind of ship, and professionally too.
The safest way to go around South Africa was to sail from port to port using the weather windows. And the succession of stopovers began.
Decided to build this boat because we're interested in African history.
Guys, can I ask you all just to get ready in your positions and sit very still? Any sudden movement may make them move off. Actually, just going back. Just turn the other way.
I tell you what, I take my hats off to the blokes that are doing it. I wouldn't, that's for sure. No, this is really a wonderful achievement.
On this leg, Phoenicia reached her top speed, 10.7 knots. At the very end of the continent, Phoenicia met her greatest challenge, to round the Cape of Good Hope.
plan now how we're gonna get to Cape Town from here.
No, that's the big challenge. Challenge of the day. Hopefully we can, with a bit lighter wind and waves, we can turn across and get in. Yeah, that's the plan. If not, Santolina, here we come.
You know which side we're going to come alongside? Which side? Starboard side. Yes. Great. Excellent. Thanks. The starboard side too.
What happened there?
I caught a fist in the eye. Daniel's fist.
Yeah, I like my work.
I know it deserved to be quiet.
No, I did nothing wrong. It was an accident, surely.
During the long way down the African east coast, everyone aboard felt that Cape Town would be the turning point. After Cape Town, the second half of the expedition would be like going home.
Yeah, well, it hasn't really sunk in yet, to be honest. You know, because it's still just making the final approach now to get into the port. But yeah, delighted actually that we've managed to get around the Cape, and we've got halfway around. I think we've done the most difficult part of the expedition. Not to say there are not some big challenges ahead, but certainly getting around the Cape and getting down the Wild Coast was one of the biggest challenges, and getting past the pirates in Somalia. Fire at will! So I feel that we've done, a good half of the work, and still more to go, but yeah, delighted to have got round. Yeah, just stop, yeah. Cape Town, the halfway stage. Now the homeward leg. We're going home after this. It's yeah, fantastic that we got here all in one piece, and even that little tricky passage into the harbour was done without a hitch. So that's fantastic. Yeah, really good end to the thing. It's already dancing on the quay here, so it's great.
You must know these people from Zululand. You got to look out for them. You can't judge them.
They know to do things.
The Phoenicians were responsible for disseminating the wine culture all over the Mediterranean. Maybe they were the first ones to bring the beverage this far. The crew is invited to visit Delheim Vineyard.
So this one, you must decide if you have it at the end or on the equator. But you must share it with them.
I have it on tape now. Yeah.
While in port, Phoenicia was one of the main attractions of Cape Town.
Oh yeah, come on, Bob.
To celebrate this success, a Phoenician night was organized at Royal Cape Yacht Club.
To Madagascar and up to Ghana. And from that you can probably gather a deep affection for the Asian and Indonesian culture.
Next morning, the crew became very busy, preparing the ship to leave South Africa.
Plenty of food?
Yeah.
Is that enough for
maybe 15 ton.
15 ton.
The crew receive a little plant, Aloe used to dye fabric in purple color.
And that purple color was very much in demand in ancient world for denoting royalty. So the theory is that aloe was harvested here by somebody, and we're saying maybe the Phoenicians a few thousand years ago took it back and grew it in Socotra. And with Philip having come here with the Phoenician, well, they could have come. So it just adds weight to that discussion.
Okay. 1, 2.
Where's the leader?
Give us a bottle of rum!
Bound for St. Helena.
How far is it?
It's 1,500 miles. Oh, current bet. Say 16 days. Hopefully it's 20 days.
I don't know. 25.
20. Going for the upper end.
16.
Maybe 30.
16, yeah? 16. Yeah.
I'm hoping 14. I've heard 14 somewhere along the line, but
21 days.
Sail is so much more comfortable than the other one.
That's right.
Check that over for me, please.
Beautiful day, beautiful sunrise. And yeah, we're about to start a new day. And good breakfast.
Staff? 8 o'clock. Almost. Dirman? Selamat pagi. Selamat pagi.
Occasionally a shark would bite the hook, and had to be brought aboard to be released.
You don't want to kill this out,
Yeah. Why not bring him up?
Jump to that boat.
Plank is faster. He's not.
Take one, okay?
That's better.
Okay, right.
Shaki Shaki.
One bucket left.
Want to say $20?
What's happening here? Wait, guys, what's happening here?
We're just determining whether a rusty gas bottle, empty, whether it will sink or whether it will float. If it floats, then we don't want to dispose of it this way because it'll be a hazard to shipping. And but if it does sink, then it's as good a way to dispose it anyway. We're about I don't know, 2 miles, 3 miles of water here, so it'll be good to dispose of it here.
So you say it's gonna float?
No, it's gonna sink. And I've made a bet with Peter over here. He says it's going to float for a dozen beers at St. Helena. Right, testing.
That looks very much like a floater to me. They're holding the rod through. Is it 2,000 or do you guys want to test the second bottle? So that's $20 and 2 dozen beers.
You didn't take it out there.
And the winner is?
Oh, very happy. Happy man.
A happy and drunk man. How did you know that?
Well, ships don't sink and they made a steal.
I was convinced it would stick.
This is chocolate and cherry muffins.
Special happy hour.
Special happy hour, yeah.
There are 11 of us on a very strange expedition. We are trying to recreate a Phoenician voyage from Syria, around Africa, and back to Syria in a clockwise fashion. We are currently underway to St. Helena, going 5 knots in a replica Phoenician boat. Our website, www.phoenicia.org.uk. Hope you find this.
Holidays are important occasions to help pass the time aboard.
I'm not sure what it is, but it's blue.
Blue Dorado?
Could be, hopefully.
Think it's a big one?
Yes.
Heavy?
It's got loads of strain on it.
Oh!
Loads of strain. Look at it.
It's coming, it's coming. I already blew.
Hey, my pot like the pull.
Dorado? Is it fighting?
Okay, you guys playing tricks on me, aren't you? God, you can't do this to me.
April's Fool. April 1st.
It is April Fool's Day. Son of a gun.
Big fish, huh?
So I got the big fish?
It was a big fish, a big oil bucket.
Easter was also celebrated aboard.
Pasqua.
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 In Brazil, you holiday or not?
Yeah.
10 days later, St. Helena Island was sighted.
St. Helena, here we come, eh? Here we come in the dark. But it's better to do it during the daylight. So yeah, we've got an hour and a half left, 2 hours with a bit of luck. So hopefully we'll just about be able to see our way in. Hopefully we'll be all right.
gonna go Speak Like Men on the radio.
It's people in the studio, all from that ship that we heard so much about just recently that would be coming in on such and such time and a day and that sort of thing. But I understand from the captain, Captain Philip, that you came in here last night, was it? Or yesterday afternoon?
Yeah, we arrived last night just before dusk, about 7:30.
Now, this Venetian ship, we've heard a lot about it. We heard when she was going to leave Cape Town. We've been checking on the time coming up and how long it'll take to get here. You finally arrived. But what is the story behind this particular ship? Because I understand that it's nothing very modern. It goes back to the Stone Age.
Yep, it's a replica of a ship from 2,500 years ago.
St. Helena is famous as the last exile of Napoleon Bonaparte.
Napoleon and his entourage, they didn't disembark until 2 days later, on the 17th of October, and then just after dusk in the evening. At 7:30, just as dusk was setting in, Napoleon and his party came ashore. According to the records, they say practically everyone on the island was at the upper jetty. Okay? They all wanted to catch a glimpse of Napoleon, that's understandable. But the question is, how could the islanders know about the arrival of the Northumberland?
He died on this island in 1821.
What's Sulan doing?
What's Sulan doing?
After leaving St. Helena, the next stop was Ascension Island. Phoenicia made a short stop to get supplies, before attempting the longest leg of the whole expedition. 4,000 miles across the Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic provided a lot more fish, for the happiness of all aboard. One of the most exciting moments was the visit of a whale shark, who came to investigate this strange-looking Phoenician vessel.
That's it, get back in, you'll see him out now checking.
He's looking at me.
Yeah, he's definitely looking at you. Hey, man, that's big, eh?
Crossing the equator a second time, a known figure came aboard one more time.
On behalf of King Neptune, ruler of the seven seas, on the day of the 28th of April 2010, accepted with good humour that our most noble cross of the equator. Congratulations. Woohoo!
ancient Phoenicians would have rowed when becalmed or for close maneuvers. They experiment what that would be like.
Kanan 2 derajat.
They found a treasure chest floating. That turned out to be just more garbage afloat. They tried another ancient tradition, the exchange of supplies at sea.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, we'll see what's in the bag. Oh, we got, look at that, coconut cookies.
Yay!
Fantastic. And cooking oil. And some popcorn. Our favorite.
Isn't that where are we from?
Well, from Sofia, the yacht Sofia from Seattle, and they're going on a journey to Norway. Hopefully we'll see them in the Azores, but very kind of them to drop us emergency supplies.
And then what you bought for them?
We gave them a bottle of Delheim's best rosé wine, so we thought that was a fair exchange.
In the end, they had to save the available fresh water again, with only 20 liters per day for 8 people.
He's giving me water. Trying to pass it. It's very exciting. We only get 2 liters now, and I'm about the only one who can't manage to hang on to my 2 liters the whole 24 hours, so I'm always very excited when I get more.
Okay, so Philip, right, so if we mustn't worry the more north we go.
No.
Even in that other wind when it's blowing slightly from the...
After 80 days, Phoenicia made landfall on the island of Flores, in the Azores archipelago. From Flores, Phoenicia moved to another island, Fayal, to Orda Marina.
Had lots of different nationalities. We've had 15 different nationalities participating in the trip to make it happen.
The crew painted their colors on the wall, following a long maritime tradition.
Unfortunately, I'm busy packing to fly back home again.
Why are you back home?
Yeah, why are you back home?
Who knows? A very difficult question.
Very difficult question, but it seems like there is a real world out there. What do you say, Steph?
And in Horta we have Nicholas, who's been on the expedition before, and from Sweden. A new crew member called Edward Sadler from the UK. So we'll have additional crew from Horta to Gibraltar.
As usual, Yuri, who is also a diving instructor, inspected the hull of the ship looking for potential weak points.
I like it. It's a very pretty place. And it's on a volcano.
So I've been here for how many days now?
Seems like forever, but a week maybe?
No more. About 2 weeks, I think.
Sorry?
2 weeks.
So enjoying your break from Phoenicia?
Oh, definitely. Fantastic island.
But you're going back to Phoenicia again?
No. We're staying on the island.
What do you think about our project?
Crazy.
Is it? You wouldn't go aboard?
Never.
It is believed that the Azores was visited by the Phoenicians,
But you never know, the Phoenicians probably came here too.
and once the expedition had reached Gibraltar, the next destination, they would be officially back to the Phoenician territory.
We're just leaving the Azores, heading towards mainland Europe and hopefully the Pillars of Hercules. So yeah, towards Gibraltar.
Yeah, it's gonna be a difficult leg, we heard. It's gonna take a while to get us there, because we can't go directly east. We have to go north first to be able to get the right wind. So maybe a month at sea. Yeah, but it's adventure, of course.
We've got one more leg to do, and we'll have proven that you could sail around Africa without any problem in a Phoenician boat.
We need wind. We need westerly wind and we ain't getting any. What about the whales?
You see them?
Yeah, they've gone down there looking for squid. Apparently they can dive a kilometer.
This is Phoenicia on channel 06.
Yeah, good morning. Just to let you know, we are coming to port 2 much closer to you, so you can, our passenger can see you much better.
Okay, yes, we noticed your altered course. We're just traveling at 0.7 of a knot and heading on 280 true. So yes, there's no problem.
So what's the thing they have there that you would like to?
Dancing girls. Oh yeah.
What about you?
Maybe those. Maybe a jacuzzi. Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be nice right now.
Keep on dreaming.
Keep dreaming.
The Mediterranean entrance was very challenging, with intense ship traffic, very dangerous to a slow vessel such as Phoenicia.
Type 42 destroyer, like one I used to serve on.
Really?
Yeah. Served on HMS Cardiff. This is HMS Gloucester. So yeah.
Can you see anything?
Just water and fog. That's it. An occasional blue spot.
What if a ship appears from nowhere?
Then I don't know. We all start yelling because we don't have a foghorn.
I think we're sort of 2/3 of the way there. You know, we've done 2 sides of Africa, and we've just got the top bit to do across the Mediterranean. So yeah, I think we've done pretty good.
The passage took 27 days. The Phoenicia ship was definitively in Phoenician territory.
That's a great project. I've sailed from South Africa, but in a proper yacht. I wouldn't do it in that. But yeah, it's exciting. Good for Gibraltar as well. Well, I mean, the Phoenicians were here. It's important to the history here.
Our overall length is 20 meters and our draft is 1.5 meter.
Okay, we know that the Phoenicians crisscrossed, and colonized parts of the Mediterranean, and so, for the Phoenicians, the Mediterranean I don't think was the issue. The issue was, could they have got from, the Red Sea to the Pillars of Hercules, in one voyage, and that's what we've really demonstrated was possible. It must have been incredibly hard work for them to actually have, done the voyage. But I think it shows you it's possible. And I think they would have had 3 or 4 boats at least, and in that sense some security. And they may have been less sort of daring than we have, and perhaps gone less offshore than we have. But yeah, I think it shows it's not totally out of order to think that the Phoenicians were the first to circumnavigate Africa.
Gibraltar, the Rock, is an exciting place to visit. Especially if you are there representing the original ancient people who colonized that land.
Halt! Who goes there?
come here for the shopping and the monkeys. If they come here, there's so much that you can see in a place like Gibraltar, and so much of that deep and rich heritage and history, of which the Phoenicians are but one example. The western end, if you like, of the geographical area of the home range of the Phoenician, if you like. This was their marker, their western marker, and the eastern marker was obviously in the Lebanon. And you cannot but help feel very fond of these people, because they really were, they must have been very brave, because they must have been in very scary situations in boats really that were very precarious. They were also very intelligent, and they were great commercial entrepreneurs, I think. So I think you can only but have a lot of passion and respect for them, because they were great people.
Can you tell us if you feel that what Herodotus wrote so many centuries ago could be accomplished, this going out to Africa?
Well, I think you're proving that it could, and my suspicion is that these people, feeling from what you excavate and you read, I think they would have been perfectly capable of doing it, yes.
After exploring Gibraltar, Phoenicia set sail, heading to another Arab country.
Now back to the adventure, yeah. So maybe we can aim for the two tankers, yeah. A little bit of England on a little rock just on the edge of Spain, yeah. So a little bit of England, yeah. Just a reminder of home. It's been very nice.
Yeah, must be Spanish whales, siesta.
Siesta for whales.
On one bright sunrise, during the crossing, the crew spotted something shining on the water.
Check the roof. Hey, this is drugs though, yeah?
I don't know, could be.
Just open one and yeah. Actually, we don't want it on board, just have a look on there.
Yeah,
You have a look on there and then check it where.
For sure, yeah.
What is it? Is that hash? What's that? Hash, what? Huh? No, it's chocolate.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Hey, okay, check it away.
Drugs.
Huh?
Drugs.
But it will be a pickup, yeah. Oh, I just need it. Oh, I think you know where it is.
The jet ski was full of drugs. Philip called the authorities over the radio and informed the situation. They dumped all the drugs in the ocean and rescued the jet ski. If left there, another boat could hit it during the night and sink.
Maybe that was for the pickup coordinates.
We must be far away from that point, man. Where are they from?
Morocco.
This is an extraordinary adventure. Yeah. To think these people, 800 years before Christ, were travelling around the Mediterranean, trading in all sorts of goods with technology that was pretty good.
Yeah, back to Carthage after 2,500 years.
How do you feel being the captain of a Phoenician ship coming back after so long?
Well, right at this moment, it's a little daunting as we come into Carthage with really like a force 6 or 7, gale blowing. But we're hoping that when we get in, there'll be a bit more shelter. But yeah, it's amazing to think that we're the first Phoenician ship to visit Carthage for over 2,500 years.
Not afraid some Romans will show up?
Yeah, I hope the Romans don't show up. If they do, we'll give them a good hiding.
Carthage, the last Phoenician city, was devastated by the Romans during the Punic Wars in 146 BC.
Yeah.
Tunisia is a very beautiful country, which served as location for many famous movies.
Refugees. Welcome to Miami.
Good man. Actually, I got both here. You want this putt? You want the putt? It's a big one. Yeah. Big one. This other anchor, just get a little bit of way on with the engine, so just let it back. We'll get it here and
Put some
Pulpo. Pulpo al ajillo. Here we come.
Another crew change, and soon Phoenicia was sailing again towards Malta. During the crossing, an Italian Coast Guard airplane came to verify what kind of ship Phoenicia was.
It is the Italian Coast Guard airplane. We're flying over you. Can you tell us state your intention and name, please?
Yes, good afternoon. We're a replica sailing ship. We're headed for Valette in Malta.
After only 3 days of sailing, the ship enters Malta. The crew felt like they just went back a few millennia in time. The Phoenicians were the inventors of blow glass. Being this close to the Middle East, Malta was an old Phoenician settlement. And a few ruins are still around.
I teach together with a colleague of mine a course on Phoenician and Punic archaeology. I did my doctorate several years ago on Phoenician and Punic temple sites in the Mediterranean, and I take a keen interest and spend a lot of time doing research on Phoenician archaeology. Have you been aboard the Phoenician ships before? No, this is the first time that I am aboard a Phoenician ship. Sometimes I do it in my dreams when I try to imagine what it would have been like to sail these splendid waters, but this is the first time that I'm doing it in a real way. And you can even smell the wood used, and it is the real thing. There's always things to discover because archaeological expeditions are taking place all over the Mediterranean. We know that the Phoenicians touched many shores. Well, you know as much as I do that the Phoenicians were in different parts in the Mediterranean. The big challenge is to keep abreast with the new discoveries. So many discoveries are coming.
Just hope that
The last long passage separated Malta from Lebanon and Syria, Phoenicia homeland. This close to home, the hull started to show signs of weakness.
Let's trip to the engine.
Very bad.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of wormholes. All the water in the world cannot sink a ship unless it gets inside it. It is getting inside it. Yeah, that's what's happening right now. But the whole Mediterranean coming in.
Be ashamed to go around Africa to sink just like a few miles from Lebanon.
300 miles left. We're sinking. A lot of water coming in. It seems to be just one plank.
If that plank is gone, we are gone.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad the plank is still there. But...
After 17 days, Phoenicia enters Lebanese waters. But the unexpected happens.
Well, we've just been told that we were not to enter Lebanese waters until they give us permission. So they told us to turn around and reverse our course to 270. So we better do as they say and turn around and just slowly back step our path.
After a day of drifting around, finally they received permission to head to port, not in Tyre, but in Sidon.
You know how make it?
You split it up and then you fill it, right?
If you want, I tell you.
Oh yeah.
From here.
Okay. Do you want to? Yeah. Do you want to come onto the ship? Because we now have a ladder.
I can.
Yeah. Of course you
Okay.
can. We're delighted to show you.
And some ice cream.
Oh really?
Hello.
Thank you very much.
The crew was held aboard for a few days, until finally, Lebanese friends organized a proper reception.
George Fadou, and ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for this excellent reception, and all of you, all the work that you have done to, make us welcome and to enable us to come really to the homeland of Phoenicia. The Phoenicians gave the world the modern alphabet, and they were the first global traders. They were trading on 3 continents. Not just here in the Mediterranean, but they were trading with Asia and with Africa, and maybe even more than that, maybe in the Americas as well. But people didn't really give them, if you like, the great credit for being the world's first, ocean-going traders. On that note, I'd just like to, again, thank you all for putting this reception on and for all the...
On the same night, they sailed to the next Lebanese port, Beirut, for the official government reception.
Huwaida
وين الطريق رئيس الاتش الدولي
And the fourth member of the crew is Rob Foot, also from the UK. And last but not least, our only crew member with proper Lebanese blood is Yuri Sanada from Brazil. We hope that with the Phoenician project we can contribute a little bit to increasing more interest in what the Phoenicians achieved. And we've certainly learned a great deal about how wonderful their boats were to sail, and we've enjoyed it. And on behalf of the crew, we'd like to really say thank you to everyone who's made this tremendous voyage over the last 2 years such a success. So thank you on behalf of us.
After the reception, Phoenicia sailed to another Lebanese city, on their way to Syria, Tripoli. To everyone's surprise, it turned out to be the best reception of all, so far. After a short stay in Tripoli, Phoenicia left port for the last time on this expedition. Overnight they crossed the border into Syria. A hero's welcome awaited the expeditioners.
To be honest, I didn't quite expect such a rapturous welcome. It's been much livelier and busier than I thought it would be. I thought we would always get a good welcome, but I was really more expecting it on the island of Arwad. Maybe that's ahead of us, but I didn't quite expect this. And I didn't know that the Syrians had any navy, so that's a revelation to me. Over 12 different nationalities participating. So it's been a great multicultural international project. Yeah, well, this is the best adventure of my life. It was 2 years and 2 months long. It's 20,000 miles with some of the biggest storms and gales, but a fantastic ship, very strong. Not one plank came loose in the whole 2 years. So we have to thank the people of Arwad for making a fantastic ship, which made a fantastic adventure around Africa.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to be back in Arwad. Fantastic welcome home, and it's a really good energy here. Yeah, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to be here and to share it with the people who helped make this project happen in Arwad in Syria.
Phoenicia was built on the small island of Arwad, and after 2 years, returned home, having accomplished its mission.
After 20,000 miles, sailed in over 2 years, those modern explorers proved that Herodotus' story was possible. The ancient Phoenicians could have made such an incredible voyage. Now they had to prove that they could have reached the Americas. But that is another story.